Hello, everyone.
Hello, guys. Nice to meet you. Nice to hear you. Thank you for joining to this webinar. We hope that it will be useful. I think we expect that this webinar could be very useful for you. Yeah. So thank you for joining again. And I think that Tatiana, let me pass the word to you. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I think we'll wait for a couple of minutes so that everyone can join, and we will start our event.
Sure.
So yeah, today we are really going to speak about a very important topic, I would say, about KPIs and the measurement of BA's work. I think it's a very useful tool, and maybe it's not so frequently used, but still is very, very important. So I hope that you, Dima, will show us the best practice and extend more on this topic.
Absolutely, with my pleasure, because this is really extremely, I can say that this is extremely important topic, because everyone wants to know what BA, how he can measure BA's work, yeah, how we can measure BA's work from perspective of stakeholders, points of view, for wishes or just expectations from team side, from our managerial side, I mean inside EPAM company, etc. So I think that this will be a great opportunity for us to think together about this topic one more time and have some kind of deep dive investigation in that. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 2 minutes past our start time, and we already have lots of attendees here. Thank you for joining us. And so please meet Dmitro, who is going to speak about today about KPIs of BA work. And I would also like to encourage you for your active participation in Q&A. So please put your questions in the chat during this speech, and we will answer them in the end. And also we have a small competition today, a friendly one, I would say, for the best question that will be answered today. So Dmitro will select the best one, the most interesting one probably, and we will send a badge for such a guy who is the most maybe creative today in questions. So thank you and have a good time with Dmitro. Please go ahead, Dmitro.
Thank you, Tatiana. Hello, guys. Hello, everyone who joining to this meeting, to this webinar. You are welcome every time, and our global BA community with our pleasure. Just every time share our knowledge about from different speakers, yeah, about different topics, about different interesting questions in our work. And we hope that every time with us is interesting and useful. Yeah. This time, guys, we're going to speak about interesting topic. Yep, we said about that in a couple of minutes ago. Yeah, why this topic is interesting for us, and I think that the main option for our webinar is the next. We need to deep dive and understand the main accents of this question. What we should know about BA's work KPIs, yeah, and I think that we can build a frank discussion on a weighty topic, yep, as was announced. So let me introduce myself. I am Chief Business Analyst 1, Ukraine, west part of Ukraine, Lviv region, yeah, and I had different experience in my practice in my past, yeah. In big IT area, I think that this year I crossed the line more than 9 years, yep, and I was in different kind of roles in IT projects, PM role, project manager role, business analyst role, product owner, product manager, business consultant. And I think that during all my experience in IT, I collected a lot of thoughts that could be useful for wide auditory. So that is why I like to share my opinion and my knowledge and practice with you guys. Also, I am a driver on the global level and local level, a couple of initiatives. So as you can see on the screen, and if you have some kind of interest, guys, please join to our BA Global community. Just raise up your hand, be proactive, be initiative. So you're welcome. Today, I want to highlight the next agenda for our frank discussion, and I divided my speech into big parts. I can say, yep, we have 4 questions in agenda, but we will have a 2 parts, yep, of my speech. First part is related to the essence, yeah, purpose and limitations of the KPIs in our BA's work, yeah. And we need to deep dive how in the process, how these KPIs could be formed. Yeah. And what kind of the main ideas of KPIs approach? What kind of benefits we can have or restriction we could have with that approach usage, etc. And the second point, I think that we're going to review as usually. You can't go from our you can't go from our webinar without any kind of advices or practical tools or practical approach. So that is why in the second part we're going to review real KPIs that you can apply immediately after our webinar, just thinking about them and apply them in your practice. So, and of course, we going to discuss today the role, yeah, of business analyst work, KPIs, and in general, yep, and in teamwork efficiency and their correct monitoring, yeah. And you guys will have, as usually, also Q&A time, and you're welcome with any kind of questions in our chat. So please collect your thoughts. I like to use the old tool that everyone knows. Yeah, you can use your personal approach, how you can collect your thoughts, ideas, and just share with us. You're welcome, and it will be great. So let's start our webinar. I want to share with you today one interesting thought from René Descartes. Everyone knows about these scientists, and I think that he said some thoughts, yeah, that could be related to our topic. So we only manage what we can measure, and this is really wise thought, because I think that this thought has a genius idea. Yeah, we can influence, if you want to have some influence, some predictable influence on some processes, on some actions, on some results. Finally, we need to use we need to measure the processes, results, actions, etc. So that is why measurement for us means control. Yeah. And this is a great idea in general of any types of KPI systems at all. And please just think about that, and we go ahead. First slide is about the main idea of KPIs in general. And if you're going to search, if you just make some searches in known sources, in well-known sources for business analysts or managers, we can say that we can see a lot of definitions of KPIs, yeah, and the main idea of KPIs is the next, that this is a key performance, how we can describe, yeah, this KPI abbreviation. This is a key performance indicator, yeah? key performance indicator. So this is the measurement this is a measurement this is the measurement, yeah, of something, yeah, or measure of something, and it means that KPI is a quantifiable measure of performance over time for a specific object, yeah? So quantifiable measure of performance. This is the main idea of any KPI, yeah? And why we have KPIs, yeah, in general, in our usage. Why we use KPIs, yeah? We want to provide the targets achievements, yeah, and to track the progress, yeah. So this is the two reasons why, and for what. This is the next question that just described. That just describe, yeah, the idea of KPI as well. And we have also two options. The first one is about creation and provide some information for better decision making, for sure, because when we want to control something, we need to measure our results to understand what we should do with that, yeah, how we should correct ourselves and go in the right direction. So that is why, for what, this is the first answer on that question, for better decision making. And the second option is to form complex estimation, yep, of work results. What does it mean? It means for us, we need to have not only the only 1 or 2 points, yeah, of measurement. We need to see the full picture. So that is why KPI should grow in some KPIs should grow in some system of measurement, yeah, of our progress, of our the main goals or target goals, achievement process, etc. So we can say that KPIs created, yeah, to measure the processes and results and making better decision making, yeah, for us to have needed to achieve needed goals, yeah, or aims. So this is the main idea of KPI: quantifiable measure of performance for specific objects. And in managerial practice, we can have different kind or different types of objects. It could be processes, it could be actions, separate actions, it could be just in general some kind of complex of processes, etc. It depends on the scale, and it depends on the goals that we're going to have, yep, in our managerial practice or business analyst practice. So this is the main idea, and we need to remember this definition, that this is a quantifiable measure of performance. Yeah. So let's go forward. BA's work KPIs focus. What is that? We can say that the main BA's work KPI focus, the main parts of this focus are the next. Yeah. First one, an indicator is simply a measure used to capture a measurement in target area. Yeah. The second one is performance indicators track a measure related to specific role performance. Yep. And the last one is about KPIs that are the subset of performance indicators for most critical and specific role, yeah, and have highest level of importance in the project success context. Yep. So we can see some kind of deviations, yep, in scale of KPIs and in focus of KPIs. So that is why in our practice because we have the scale in general in managerial processes, we have the scale in KPIs, and in managerial practice, we should scale the vision how we should apply and what kind of KPIs we should apply and how we can apply these KPIs on different levels, of their usage. And the main idea of this slide is just remind to you guys that KPIs around us, information to build the correct KPIs around us, and but we need to specify our focus of attention based on our needs. Let's go forward. KPI performance indicators measurement process basis. What about that? What we can say about that? We can say that we need to read, to understand this slide in the next manner. In the left part of this slide, we have some kind of pyramid, and in the right part of this slide, we have some kind of specific, specific objects, how we can specific of KPI key performance indicators measurement process, So in the left part, at the base level of this at the basic level of this pyramid, we have project frameworks, and what we can say, we need to define project role responsibilities to make sure that we aligned and we understand what should be done from the role responsibilities perspective or point of view in specific project framework. Why? Because project framework has an influence on, could have an influence on the role vision, and the next step, this fact, could have, or this reality, this context, could have some influence on BA's KPIs in general, KPIs approach, how we should track the information for KPIs, for best KPIs collection, how we should understand this information, how we should make some reports about that information, etc. So project framework defines the approach, how we can organize our actions and how we going forward with them. And this could have some influence on KPIs vision as well. The next level is project team workflow process and delivery model. This is also a very interesting point in this pyramid, because this level of our work understanding has some influence, has some connection with defining project activities configuration. And based on our BA's project activities configuration, we also need to understand this information to see what kind of KPIs we should use and we can use and we need in general, to track. The next level is define BA's workflow model. This point of pyramid in general, as a stage of KPIs measurement process basis connected with BA's activities and their goals, So we understand the role responsibilities, we understand project activities configuration. On the next step, we should understand BA's activities and their goals. Specific BA's activities for the current on concrete project. And the last block in this pyramid, the top of this pyramid, is BA work KPIs. So based on all this information, you should build your approach, how you can measure, how you can define KPIs, what kind of KPIs you should define, and how you can measure these KPIs on your project, on your specific project. So that is why when you go into think about your personal KPIs, and when you have some need to explain what kind of BA's work efficiency you have, yep, as business analyst on your project, for your management, for your stakeholders, for your team, you need to analyze all 4 levels of this pyramid and think about them as the filters that could have some influence on specific KPIs, for you, yeah, on the current project. So this is a general approach that you should take in account and place in your thoughts every time when you're going to define, when you faced with the need, when you need to define some of your KPIs. Yeah, let's go forward. KPIs is always a balance. Yep, we need to understand. The structure of KPIs, and we need to understand the question of balance behind different type of KPIs in our BA's work. So, based on general approach, we can say that we can define quantitative basis and qualitative basis. Yep. For business analyst work and of business analyst work. And we can divide all KPIs on quantitative KPIs and qualitative KPIs in general. That is true. But the main thing, the main idea is the next, that you need to have some kind of balance. Yep. Why? Because all these KPIs should reflect, yeah, information about different kind of aspects of your work as a business analyst on your project in enough, or I can say that enough deep dive manner for requesters of these KPIs. Yep. So that is why this is always a question of expectations. What expected from your role as a business analyst on the project? And this is a key question. You should understand expectations, you should understand the needs, and you should reflect these things in quantitative and qualitative basis of your personal as a role, yeah, as a business analyst role. KPIs. Yep. So quantitative basis is always connected with the main question: what should be done and when it should be done from your side as a business analyst. And qualitative basis, yep, always just answered on the question how it was done, yeah, efficiency or not. So the first type of KPIs just provide the answer on what, and the second part of KPIs provide the answer how. And you should build balance. Why? One more point from my side, because not only because of understanding and deep dive in your quality, in the question of quality of your work. Yeah, you should understand expectations to manage them, because not all things may be needed from a different side of your stakeholders. Yep. From business representatives, from client side, from managerial representatives inside our company, and from team. So you need to understand expectations to see some kind of focuses or main questions that you should cover as a business analyst in that role at the specific project. And expectations is that I mentioned before when we reviewed the pyramid. Yep, how KPIs forming on practice, what kind of filters, what kind of context you need to understand to form correctly your KPIs. Yep, and this again, one more refer to that point when we can say that this is always balance, yeah? Clear understanding of BA role at the project. This is a basis. You need to understand what kind of responsibility you have. And after that, through these filters, you're going to build the system of KPIs. But expectations is always dilemma, yeah? What I really need to do and what others want and what should be done in their opinion. You see, guys, this is a huge difference. This is a huge gap, actually. Because as a business analyst, as a professional guy who as a professional person who going to to play to do a lot of work at the project based on our best BA practices, based on our general BA approach that we have for different types of projects on different accounts. Yep, this is a one point. What we really need to do as a professionals. And other point is understanding what should be done from side of our stakeholders, personal BA stakeholders, yeah, from different groups that I told. And very often on our projects, a lot of our stakeholders, they don't have enough understanding specific of BA work, yeah. And you should be flexible. You should be ready to explain them when you're going to find out at the start of your onboarding process in the project. You should be ready to explain them that what you're going to do, yeah, from perspective of business analyst role in general. Yeah, what is the role of BA? Maybe they have some questions. Maybe you need to align these things on fly with them from the scratch. Yeah, or maybe they had some experience previously, work with business analysts on previous projects, and they have some clear picture what really BA should do at the project. And this is an option that you also should take in account when you're going to think about expectation questions. Yep, because based on that expectations in balance with real needs from your role at your project, you need to build the balance of BA's work estimation behind quantitative and qualitative basis. We can say KPIs, quantitative KPIs and qualitative KPIs. So don't forget about that. This is a tricky point. This is dilemma that should be resolved. The next point, the next slide that I want to share with you is about KPIs characteristics. Yep, because when we made the first step, we understood, we got idea about the sense of KPI. We understood and we defined our role responsibilities. We merged these role responsibilities with the project context, with the project reality. We built some kind of we went through the filters that we have previously and use in general to understand what kind of expectations, what kind of influence we have on our BA's work at the project, etc. This was the first step. The second step for you guys is to understand the approach, what kind of KPIs you should use, yeah? And based on our best practices, we need to have some kind of acceptance criteria, yes, of these KPIs. And if you want to search information about KPIs characteristics in, for example, if you Google this information, you can see a lot of characteristics. The smallest list just started from 5 points. The biggest list that I saw when I investigated this topic before, I saw 15 or 16 characteristics. Yep. In my opinion, I collected for you guys just the most understandable and the most applicable characteristics at all. And when you think about KPIs, your personal KPIs, you should always compare this KPI sense or idea with this just short list of characteristics, and all these characteristics and this KPI should be aligned with all of them. Why? Only in that case you're going to have understandable, clear, simple managed, and very useful KPIs, yeah, in your practice. So what kind of characteristics of KPIs we have? The first one, KPI should be simple. Why simple? Why not complicated? Because if we think about about the process of BA work, if we think about just simple actions that we doing every day as a business analyst, or activities that we doing every day in our work, or on some periodical basis, etc., we can see that this is a simple things. Yep. So that is why we don't need to have complicated KPIs, because this is a very difficult process when we have a complicated KPIs with a lot of components in KPI formula that should be covered, that should be counted, that should be monitored, etc., etc. When we have such case with a simple KPI, we have the direct connection behind KPI and behind actions, yeah, or our activities. So please don't forget that you will spend much more efforts to manage complicated KPIs, and complicated KPIs, if this formula contains a lot of the components of this formula, it means that this formula has a lot of influence factors on that KPIs. And this is not good practice for us, because you should manage all this stuff every time when you're going to count this KPI. So KPI should be simple and applicable. Relevant. Of course, KPI should be aligned with the object that this KPI should reflect, yeah, or information about your work with that object. Yep. KPI should reflect. So it's simple idea, and I don't have any kind of additional explanation here. KPI should be measurable. Yeah. So you need to use indicators only indicators that you can count. You can define the approach how you can count this KPI. Yeah. And one more important question in that for this point is the next, that this KPI that you want to measure, should be this process of KPI measurement should be simple as well. Yeah, so you can count it, and you can automate this process in general. Yeah, it's ideal case for us. Don't spend our time too much to count some kind of some information to build some KPIs. Yeah. This is also some kind of specific, yep, related to KPIs characteristics. KPI should be straightforward, yeah. So again, one more point about general application, yep, or general ability to have applicable KPIs in your work. Straightforward, it means idea that KPI should reflect, yeah, should reflect directly the sense of the process that it measures, yeah, directly the sense of the project of the process. You need to have aligned KPIs. Yes, sure, you need to align the KPIs not only with the basis of their accounting. You should align KPIs with the expectations and needs that you have as a business analyst at the specific project. They should be achievable. Yeah, sure. So achievable for you. guys, first of all, KPIs should be achievable for you as a business analyst at the project. Of course, they should have characteristic of time, yeah, timely, and they should be visible. I think that this is the main or key characteristics of KPIs. You please make this exercise when you have some free time and when you going to work with your KPIs at your projects. So please don't forget to filter to apply this characteristic to your specific KPIs that you use right now or using right now at your project. Maybe some of them could be, how to say, could be removed from this list. Yeah, it depends on you guys, on your project specific and your BA role, BA understanding. Yeah, in general. So this is a simple idea what kind of KPIs characteristic you should have and you should use at your project. What kind of advantages and disadvantages we have when we work with KPIs? Yeah. So in the left part of this slide, you can see the main advantages, and I can highlight the next one: measure outcomes and results. Yes, sure, we need to have the measurement process of our work results. Empower employees to make needed actions. Yeah, of course, because this is some kind of stimulation. Yep, of our work. So shows the gaps in work processes for sure. In your work process, KPIs is not KPIs in general as a tool, yeah, as a managerial tool, is not an instrument or judgment tool, yeah. It's just a tool that help you to be in the cycle of everyday improvement, yeah. So all of us should learn every day something new, something useful for us, and we need to stay in that cycle. So just when you knew something, when you got some new information, when you realize this information or some bunch of knowledge or practical things, yeah, you need to apply them. You need to think how you could be better than you was yesterday, yeah, in your work. And this is a huge opportunity. I mean, in general, KPI systems that could motivate you and definitely do it to be better than you was in your work, in your previous work. And that is why all the things related to the measurement, related to empowering, related to showing the gaps, yep, all the things connected with some kind of motivation for you as for professional guy, as a professional person, to be better. Yep. And of course, with the help of KPIs, you correct yourself, your work, and you're going to have some better input in general teamwork as well, that will be reflected on teamwork efficiency in general. So what the next advantages we have? We have help to make decisions. Yes, sure, we defined that at the beginning of our webinar. Detect patterns over time and help to set the goals and plan. Yeah. So these advantages are clear and they are simple for understanding. So what is the disadvantage? What disadvantages we have? Only 4. KPIs accuracy demands time and defines standardized processes. Definitely yes. When you don't have defined processes and not well set up processes or launch processes, managerial processes, internal work processes, external work processes at your project, this is a really, really huge challenge to make a good KPI system. Because as you understand from previous material, KPIs is always connected with actions, with processes, with a bunch of them, yep. And KPIs reflect the results of some actions, yep. So that is why if you have the standardized process, you can measure this process and you can control this process. So you can count the KPIs. Overlooks some part of relationships, difficult to track all relationships aspects. Yes, sure, this is one of the biggest, yep, KPI disadvantages or restrictions, yep, of KPI system usage. So, sorry. I'm sorry. So we need to understand that we have the high side of KPI systems, any kind of KPI systems. Of course, if organization or project has some kind of great planning system, great process managerial system. I mean, first of all, defined processes, standardized processes, etc. Regarding to the quality standards, regarding to the managerial standards inside project or account in or company. Yep, this is great, but this is some kind of organizational tool, yeah, how define the processes and organize the processes, standardize our activities, our work. This is some kind of organizational approach, yeah, approach, yeah, we can say this word. And but people doing the work, not everything depends on the processes description or best practices description or some kind of standardized things. A lot of things just on background doing by doing and empowering by people will, yeah. And this is the main restriction, because KPIs reflect the results, but they don't reflect the relations or relationships. So please take this in account when you going to think about the worst or maybe some kind of difficult project cases, yeah. Especially when you just try to analyze the results from KPI understanding perspective, yeah. So just don't forget about the relationships question on background. The next disadvantage is about accuracy needs the control. Sure. You need to build not only standardized processes on your project, you need to build some kind of approach how you should control these processes, with what kind of tools, staff, actions, etc. And in that case, we can say about accuracy. Yeah. And the last one is about needs extra efforts to make and maintain them. Yeah, sure. This is a common sense. No need, this point doesn't need any kind of additional explanations, because it's always, again, the balance. Yep. Behind the efforts and behind the results. If you spend too much efforts to count the KPIs, this is bad. Absolutely. So you shouldn't spend not more than approximately from 1% of your work time up to maybe 5% of your work time to count some kind of KPIs for some period of your work. Yeah. Preferably for us to automate this process. We have a lot of tools to do that, especially Jira. Yeah. And don't forget that if you have the wrong balance, if you spend too much time to count the KPIs and you have the less time to do your work, it doesn't make any kind of sense. So this is a basis. And as you can see, guys, any kind of tool, any kind of approach, any kind of system always has two sides, advantages and disadvantages. And it depends on you, on your project situation, again, context of your project requirements, managerial requirements, and practices that you have. But when you think about the KPIs, don't forget this information. Let's go forward. We understand a lot of aspects on the second step, but the last one for our second step is about KPIs creation rule, or rules. So I can highlight, and I want to share with you the main 6 rules related to this question. First of all, you need to identify the objectives and intended results. Yep. So you need to start always with objectives that you want, that you are going to work with, and intended results that you want to have. The second one is simple: select the right measure for each objective. And this is tricky point, because when you think about your business analyst activities inside the BA approach that you have at your project, you will see that it is not really simple to understand, especially what kind of right measures I can use for each objective. For some of them, you intuitively will define them. But for another part, you need to think about, especially for qualitative KPIs. Make KPIs as simple as possible. We talked a lot about that. Define the methods of KPIs measurement, of course, tracking. So again, one more important point. Make sure that KPI cover the target need. Yes, sure. And share and align the results with the team and stakeholders. So the last point, extremely important. I want to double highlight these points, because you can count good KPIs. You can define great KPIs for your work, and you can track these KPIs for yourself. But if you don't align these KPIs with the key stakeholders for you as for business analyst, you won't manage their expectations at all. So you need to align them. How to do this? Simply, when you define some kind of KPIs for yourself, you should have some kind of workshops or just work meetings, with special stakeholders group, and define the expectations and propose the KPIs. Define the expectations that they have from your work or related to your work, and propose your KPIs. And in discussion, you definitely find out the united point. Let's go forward. So what kind of KPIs, as I promised to you guys, we can highlight and we can recommend to you for your usage, direct usage on your project. So quantitative KPIs, I want to highlight 5 of them. First of all, the first KPI that I want to recommend to you: set up and align the approach with the team and stakeholders. Business analyst always should set up BA approach for concrete and specific project. And this is a simple KPI. Again, quantitative KPI. You have only 2 options, 1, 0, simple binary system, binary approach. Yes or no, it was done or wasn't done, So The next one, create backlog for planned horizon. Yes, no, done or not done? Yep. It doesn't matter right now what kind of quality of backlog we have. We just want to track the fact. Was the backlog created from your side as a business analyst or not? Yep. And the next one is a level of BA's obligatory artifacts coverage, creation and documentation. Yeah. So business analysts also producing some artifacts, and these artifacts is a part of project documentation, is a part of project work. So that is one more point that should be covered definitely from business analyst side on the project. As you can see, we have also binary system. We can have yes, no, fact, and we can also count the percents of scale. Yeah. So type of business analyst docs and percent of coverage. Yep. They created or not. Simply to track, you can use Confluence, I don't know, Google Docs, etc. But regarding to the BA approach, you're going to produce some quantity of business analyst artifacts, and you can count the percents of scale or percent of coverage. Yep. Set up BA communication process with stakeholders and team. Yes, no. Confirmation by regular meeting schedule. Simply to count. Business BA's involvement in teamwork planning process on permanent basis. Just a fact. Yes, no. Why this point is so important? Yep. Because when business analysts take a part in planning process, it does mean for us that business analyst going to create some work peers communication. Yeah, and he should be he should know everything about the plans, about the activities, etc., and planning process in general. It doesn't mean only Scrum planning, just regarding to the Scrum approach. No, it does mean planning in general, strategic planning, etc. So this is the key point, because communication is our all. Yeah, is all for us. And involvement in team planning process allows BAs to communicate, to interact in fast and efficient manner. So if BA is involved in that process, that's great. If no, that's bad. So these 5 simple KPIs allows you just understand on high level what kind of work regarding to the main BA's activities on the project was covered. Yeah. Qualitative KPIs. We have for you guys 6 of them. Also simple KPIs, simple to track, simple to count, simple to understand. Level of team and stakeholder satisfaction of BA's work. So you can count this KPI based on specific feedbacks. You can have you can just create some BA performance rate on the project. So for example, with a scale from 1 to 10 points, yeah, 1 point I don't satisfied, the 10 points, yeah, the 10 points I am just excited. Yeah, just an example with some kind of explanation. So please use this, but think about the scale, think about the rate system, and communicate these things with your stakeholders previously before you're going to use this rate system or scale system in practice. Existence of escalations on BA from team and stakeholders. Yeah, this is also qualitative KPI. Because in previous case, based on feedback, you're going to have some kind of additional also information about your work, additional insights, additional recommendations, or maybe somehow escalations, who knows. But these things will help you to be better again. The next one, existence of escalations. Yep, this is a separate KPI on BA from team and stakeholders side. So this is some kind of reactions on and behavior style or professional level of business analyst, just effect and characteristics. So we propose to investigate the facts, yep, the quantity of these escalations and effect or just the basis of these escalations. And I want to recommend to you the highlight in that KPI, just escalations related to BA knowledge or skills side or not. Yes, if yes, yes, no, yeah, again, and quantity of these escalations. If you have a lot of escalations, for example, on business analyst, but but these escalations doesn't related to they don't relate it to BA's professional knowledge or skills. In that case, it means that BA has enough professional level, but something wrong with his communication or interaction process, or maybe behavior style. So you can see that qualitative KPIs just provide to you some kind of variety of information and deep understanding what should be done, yep, from your side and as from business analyst side and from managerial perspective on your project as well. Quantity of BA's inputs on solution and processes level, yeah. So great KPI, and you can provide some kind of improvements. You can propose solutions. This is our work, and value or benefits that BA brought, yep, in with his changes, yep. So if you can count the value, it's great. So don't forget about that and think how we can do that. Teamwork, support, activity, existence from business analyst. Yep. So this is a fact. Yep. But again, you should have some additional explanation from team side how business analysts help them and how business analysts support. For example, fact of permanent existence and quantity of requests. Yep. Defined per period. So this is also qualitative KPI. Why not only qualitative? It could be also quantitative and qualitative at the same time. Why? Because business analyst not doing only his business analyst work related to the activities. Yep, he also interacting with the people and he also support a team, and he is a key role at the project. That is why you need to understand maybe additional input from business analyst side to improve general work in team. Yeah, the number of defects and created requirements. This is a simple yep fact yes no, and quantity of defects per sprint, per period, maybe per PI, etc. And the last one, the number of created changes, requests initiated by BAs. Yeah, so what does it mean? It means that we have permanent situation when we working with our change requests, yeah, at the project, and change requests could have different nature, yeah, how they appear. How they appeared, and that is why if business analyst, if some kind of change request came from business analyst side, it means for us that business analyst we can have the two cases. Yep, two options here. The first one, it means that business analyst just did his work maybe bad. Who knows? Because if we have change requests, a quantity of change requests more than we defined as a limit for us, yeah, or normal quantity, yeah, of change requests. We need to investigate the nature of the nature of the reasons why why BA created this change request. The first option, he did his job bad. Or just it is the context, project context changes, and our stakeholders just changed priorities per tasks or epics, etc. And you need to align with them. And right now, you need to reflect all these things with CRs. Yeah. So as you can see, it's also some kind of qualitative KPI of BA's work. Again, these qualitative KPIs, guys, allows to you just understand in very fast manner what kind of gaps you have as a business analyst at your projects, and how you should correct yourself, but with details on deep level. Yeah, and of course, we have some kind of recommendations from our IIBA Institute, yeah. And as you can see, guys, IIBA representatives provided some information about KPIs as well, and they grouped KPI in categories related to BA's activities. Yep. So this is some kind of helper for you. We won't have enough time to review all of them right now, but I think that when presentation will be sent to you guys, you will have enough time. You have enough time to work with them. But this is also simple approach, simple KPIs, yes, no, binary system, fact. In fact, do we have did we reach this KPI or not? Somewhere we have some kind of more interesting qualitative KPIs. But again, approach is the same. We have BA's activities. We define specific KPIs for specific BA's activities groups. And the last slide for today is conclusions. Yep. So what kind of conclusions we can make after after we covered all this information, all this knowledge? So I think we have 5 points for us for today. The first one is a lack of preparation for BA's onboarding process. Yep. This is some kind of mistake that the manager could do at the project when he tried to understand efficiency of BA's work. Lack of preparations for BA's onboarding process, because qualitative BA onboarding process means for us that BA understands in deep manner what he should do, what kind of specific project we have, and what kind of results expected from his work. If not, this is a gray zone for manipulations, for the future manipulations. So that is why you need to make some additional attention to this question when you come in on your new project. Yeah. Insufficient involvement of key project roles in BA's onboarding process. Yes, again, you need to communicate, you need to interact, and please don't forget to do this. From KPI perspective as well. Yep. Lack of structure vision on BA's onboarding process. Well, sorry, this is duplication. I will remove them. Inconsistency in the vision of BA's onboarding process that take place between team management and client. Yep. So we talked about the balance. We talked about expectations today. So don't forget about these recommendations, and think about that and align your vision with your team management and client. And the last one is we can say that reluctance to measure BA's real work effectiveness. Yep. Don't hide your work. Please make it visible, make it clear, make it how to say, not silence. Yep. And this is great option to understand. Yep. To understand what is the BA role and start our communication, what you should do, what should be done, how we can measure this or that, etc. And this is really, really important thing. Don't forget about that as well. And I think that this is all that I want to share with you guys today. And right now we have some time for Q&A session. Tatiana?
Yeah, hello once again. I'm not sure we have some time, to be honest.
Well, 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think we have still some audience, so we can start answering some of the questions, but the rest of them I will put you, and I think you can discuss these questions offline, right? Okay, so we'll start from the first question. Could you advise, please, on the BA work KPIs metrics for different stages of software development lifecycle, especially for initiation, planning, and maintenance?
That's a great question, and I think that I can advise to use this one. Yeah, from this list that you can see on the screen, you can just take some kind of KPIs and align these KPIs from with SDLC. Yeah, so sure.
Okay. Another one. How can you be sure that KPIs make sense and reflect real project needs and goals?
How we can do that? Okay, we discussed this question previously. I think that you can use these simple rules and these characteristics. Yep. So please don't forget about them. And this is the fast option for us. To use the characteristics and to filter our KPIs when we create in our KPIs with that characteristics. That's simple, really.
Yeah. Okay. Before asking another question, I would like to encourage everyone who likes Dimitro's presentation. You can send him a badge for him, or even for me, probably. I'll send the link to the chat
as well.
So yeah. Okay, we would appreciate that. All right, and we are proceeding. Dmitro, what is your approach to find a balance between what you want to measure and efforts needed to collect the data, especially if you have somehow limited set of capabilities in project tools?
Yes, sure. That's a great question. Thank you for this question. Thank you very much. I think that the best option for us is just start from analysis of expectations again. If, for example, I have in my option, if for example, for our stakeholders, just important some question of, for example, backlog creation, just not only for PI horizon or even more than one PI horizon. So it means for me that I need to think from this alignment point. I need start to think about how I should manage this question and what kind of KPI I can propose to such activity. Yep, and I prefer to use the simple KPIs, again, as I told. And for sure, for example, I can propose to my stakeholders just some kind of KPIs that is time-based or time limit that is based on timeline, till what date this backlog, for example, should be created. I need to have this backlog created just with the time or point of start of my current PI period, or maybe earlier, or maybe later, etc. So I mean, the backlog not for the current PI period, the backlog for the next PI period after the current. Yep. So you should understand the logic of thinking of your stakeholders, and you need to align this logic with your capabilities. Again, as was asked in question, aligned with your capabilities. Yep. What does it mean for us? It means that do you have the physical ability to track such things? In that case, that in example case, yes, we have. Maybe maybe for other cases we will have another situation. Yeah. So that is why you need to start from expectation management from expectation management moment, yeah, or point, and after that, step by step, you understand what you should do, what kind of capabilities you will have. Yeah.
Right, thanks. And I think the last question for today, and as I've mentioned before, I've already shared the questions that are left with Dmitro, so I hope that he will manage to answer everyone. And okay, the last one. From your experience, do you think KPI might demotivate the BA team or not?
This question is the best one. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I define so the best question.
It's a question from anonymous. So maybe someone who was the author
Okay.
could name himself. Otherwise, the batch will come to another one.
Okay.
So please.
So, but still, yep. We have a question. So only in one case. BA's KPIs could demotivate the team. In case when business analyst or business analysts in the team, in BA team, they don't understand variant A, yeah, option A, the first point, expectations, and the second one, they don't want to highlight their activities because of different reasons. They are not so confident in domain. They have some kind of gaps in their work, and they know about these gaps. They know about these gaps, and this is we can have really different reasons why. Yeah. But the main point is to change the consciousness of business analysts. That is why on different accounts we have, for example, government structures, BA's government structures on big accounts. Yeah, and government structure, government BA government structure or group. The main task of this group is care about the BA approach, about the BA confidence, about BA upskilling process, etc., etc. So everything that is related with the gaps just demotivate people on unconsciousness level, and this person trying to not hide but not don't provide how to say enough information about the processes in which this person make the gap or have the gap. Yep, in what part of work this person have the gap. So I think this is the main reason. Yep, and if business analysts are confident, if they are professional, they want to hide anything in their work. They are transparent. Yeah. So that is why KPIs and KPIs, again, this is a system to make you better than you was yesterday. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So we even now know the author of the question. It is Alisa, and Alisa, you will be granted with the badge, and my congratulations. Thank you very much for your attention and for staying for 15 minutes more. Thank you, Dmitro.
Thank you, guys.
I think it was very productive session, and hope that now your KPIs will grow much. And the KPIs of your BA team also. Thank you once again. Have a good day and see you next time.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tatiana. Have a great Friday and weekend. See you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.